Now let's talk about, now we can talk about the time frame skipping theory. The time frame skipping theory work this way. You have first of all the root time frame. The root time frame is where you take the direction and the big zone, the, 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 the zones that have long moves, like monthly, weekly, daily, and H4, right? So you have something like this, the root time frame. For the root time frame, you have something like, you have literally something like this. You have the monthly, weekly, daily, H4, right? These parts are called root time frame. Those are the root time frame, right? Those are the root time frame because this is where the big long movement will happen. That's where you find the zones. That's also where you find the direction Z. Okay, so if you want to understand the theory is that you need the root time frame. Let us say, let us take for example the daily root time frame. Now the TS1 is where you hold the position. So if you took a setup on daily, you skip one time frame below using the TS1 method, and you go on enter on holding the position. You don't enter on H4. You hold the position on H4. And how do you hold the position on H4? You hold the position on H4 this way. Let us say, for example, you had this setup daily, this daily setup here on FFB, that you enter a position anywhere on H1, somewhere, anywhere on H1, somewhere here, and then you place a stop loss like this. So what you do to hold that position till the top, is that right? What you do to hold that position to the top, is that right? What you do to hold that position till where it is going there, is that you use Tenkan as your guide. Since you see this Tenkan, when you enter there on H1, let the price go to the upside. When Tenkan at H4 start bending to the upside like this, right? Stay in position, don't even blink. Let your position go and run. Till Tenkan start to bend to the downside on H4, not on H1, on H4. H4 is to position. That's where you can start taking the profit on H4. Yeah. Right? But you are not even forced to take a profit there. What you can do on, you are not forced to take a profit on each Tenkan bend into the downside on H4 because Kijun is still bended to the upside. What you can just do is place your break even, place your stop loss at break even just below this Lofini. You can break even here, like just to let the price brief a little bit. But the price, the trade will not go below this point. Then you let again the position go a little bit further, and this is another place where you can take take a profit. And this will be another place when Tenkan start bending to the downside like this. But at each time, even on this period, since Kijun on this second Tenkan bending to the downside, since Kijun is still upside, bended to the upside, what you can just do is place your stop loss just below this low for this case, and for this other case, drag the for this third case of Tenkan bending down, drag the stop loss just below this next. So you go and break even here. So you drag your stop loss just below the low of this Kijun touch. so that you can keep stay in position as much as the price goes to the upside. So that is the idea of how you hold a position. That's why I say hold the position as much as they can stay upward on H4. That's how you hold the position. Your latest profit will be on Tenkan inverted. So inside big zones, see lower time frame, Tenkan setup tick off. Inside daily Tenkan setup that is bended to the upside. See H4 Tenkan bended to the downside. Okay. I get what I tried to mean. What did I even say in the French version? Hmm. So what I mean now is that right. Let's take for example this Tenkan daily. This one. What you will be doing, you go on H4. Look, look what I wrote here is doesn't make any sense. Just remove it like this. It doesn't make any sense. So maybe I confused I confused the place where to put it. It was meant to be on TS2. So now let us talk about TS2. Let us talk about TS2. Let us talk about TS2. So on TS2, okay, here is what I wrote here. So on TS2, let us talk about TS2. What do I mean by TS2? What do I mean by TS2? Here it is H1, right? Here it is H1, right? Uh-huh. If you take a setup on daily and you skip 2 time frame below the daily time frame, this will be TS2, right? On H1. So on H1, you will be entering. So if you're on daily, you go on H1, you enter. That's the best moment to buy a big zone continuity. For example, Tenkan in daily is bended to the upside. Buy Tenkan inverted on H1. Buy Tenkan inverted on H1. Okay. So if we take an example like this setup here. In this setup Tenkan, right, on daily, what you need to do is when Tenkan bend to the upside like this, you start buying here. And then it will give you a good opportunity to make a long move, or you buy also there on this next one. So, but TS2 can also give you Tenkan 1 2 ticket cross the upside. So 1 2 ticket cross appear sometimes on TS2. Let us say, for example, you take a weekly setup on the empty space. and you go on H4, you will see it. Let us take a weekly setup for me to show you, for me to show you that. If you go, we go on weekly, and then we take this empty setup here. And then you go, we do TS2, so we go now on H4. You will see that when the price is inside the MT, Tenkan want to bend it here for the first time to the downside. Then Tenkan bend it another time for the downside. So that's the 1-2 TK. That's the 1-2 TK cost, right? But you also have this part where Tenkan bend it down to the downside, and Tenkan bend it down to the downside again here. That's the 1-2 TK cost. The reason why I'm emphasizing on this one is that, right? In general, you will see that from the observation that I made is that it is generally the TS3 that create 1-2-3 TK cross, right? The time frame skipping by 3. But in this case, I just emphasize and tell you and show you that even the TS2 can create a 1-2 TK cross. It means that it's not the first TK cross to the downside that will play out, but the second one. And you need to be aware of that too, mostly on big time frame. So inside the big zone, see a lower time frame setup, Tenkan 3, 4, 5. In daily, Tenkan bending up, go on H1, see the H1 bending down, Tenkan setup 3, 4, 5 to start buying. So yeah, we have 1-2 ticket cost. So what I mean by this one is that, right? What I mean is that if you have a daily Tenkan setup like this one, or one of the setup here, or one of the setup here, or this setup here, you go on H1, what you will be doing is that, right? Let us take this first setup. Inside here, this daily setup, if you see the price go down like this, go back and touch Tenkan, go down, go back and touch Tenkan, then go down, break below. Look, for example, the price went down, touched Tenkan for the first time, Tenkan and Kijun at the same time, went below, touched Tenkan and Kijun, went below, touched Tenkan and Kijun, went below, and then went below again, went down. Like it touched Tenkan and Kijun 1, 2, 3, even 4 times. And the best time for you to buy it would have been when the price break this low, and even it broke even this other low here, right? So this zone here is the best time for you to buy. That's what you need to get to be aware of. That's what we need to be aware of. Uh, so that is it. Now let us do the tier 3. Let us say that we have a monthly time frame. And then if you have a monthly time frame, and then we go and enter on H4, it means that we are doing the TS3, right? For example, we have a setup on monthly, and then on that setup, we go on and enter on H4. It means that we are skipping 3 time frame. So that is TS3. What we will be seeing on H4 will be 1, 2, 3 TK cross as a normal. Let me take an example. If we go on daily, for example, on the empty space on, or if we go on monthly on the empty space on monthly, just above this week, for example, this part, right? We go on monthly, you will see that as soon as we touch the week on the left, then can bend it down to the downside here one time. Then bend it up, went below Kijun and created the ticket cost one time. Then the second time here, and then the third time here, right? You already have 1, 2, 3 ticket cross. And KSB bend it down one time here. Then the price went back above. And then ticket cost, you had again one ticket cost here. And then you have one KSB at this level. And then you have another KSB to the downside at this level. Then the price move back up to the upside. Create a ticket cost, then a second ticket cost. So you really literally you have 1, 2 KSB, and 1, 2, 3 ticket cost. And that is for an empty monthly setup. That is what I call a signs for a market that wants to fall down. It is the same thing that is happening now, right? You see this week, this is the highest week that we can have. If the price move to the upside and touch that week, we can start having then those 1, 2, 3 ticket costs if the monthly want to bend to the downside. Let me use another example. We also had a monthly setup just right here, right? And when we go on H4, when we go on H4 at this level, you will see ticket cost bended to the downside here and here, right? It is 1, 2. It create you 1, 2 ticket cost. It create you a 1, 2 ticket cost. So that's the general case. So now you have a case of small or big range. How to trade small or big range? So for a small or big range, you need to enter in the empty space or on SSB in H4. So what I mean is that if you see very well during this big monthly setup, you will see that H4 will act like H4 will have like a sort of between this SSB H4 and the empty space on H4, it will be like a range, right? It will be like a range. So the price will be moving inside there. So what you need to see is that what you need to see is that is that the best way to enter during these range are inside this empty space here above, inside this empty space here above, and on SSB. So the first time that the price break the high on the left, right? You enter on a sell here to the on the empty space on H4, and then you aim the take profit on SSB H4 as a take profit, and then you re-enter at the same level. You re-enter for a buy to the upside, and you aim an empty space above, right, as take profit. And where you aim as take profit, you sell again. You sell there. You enter for a sell there, and then you aim SSB as SSB as take profit. And then you buy again at the same time as when you take profit, you buy again, and then you aim the empty space to enter for a sell. And then below here, below SSB is a take profit again. Then you buy again, and then you aim here for a sell on the empty space. And then when you sell, you aim everything below SSB here will be a take profit. When you enter it again, and then when you enter, and then you aim above here, for example, here or there, for take profit inside the empty space. And then where you take profit, you sell again and aim below SSB for take profit again. That's how you do it. It's the same thing that is happening now. Now, it's the same thing that is happening now on this high, where the price will arrive and break this high. So the price arrive, let us say, for example, the price move to the upside, break this high. Inside this empty space, you will be entering for a sell, right? Aim is an SSB. SSB H4 will be this way, and then you aim it as take profit, right? You aim it as take profit, and then you enter again there to buy, and aiming an empty space above where you will sell again. Then you aim another take profit below on SSB. Then you enter again for a buy, and you aim a take profit on the empty space above. That's what you will be doing. That's how you trade the range. The same thing happened there. Yeah, the same thing happened here. As soon as we touch this big high, this place above the high on the left, where the place where you sold, and then you aim SSB as take profit. Then you buy here, you aim the empty space, the blank space, the white space as take profit. Then you sell again there, and then you aim SSB as take profit. That is literally how you trade the range. So that's all. Let's now look at the Vegeta Ishimoku cycle theory.